Welcome to another exciting episode. I'm your host, James. Alongside of me,
I'm Andy.
we ask you to take the journey as we become legend of the nerds. Today is a great episode because a couple of big trailers have hit the internet big time.
Oh, big time. We got the Dawn of Justice trailer, Superman vs. Batman, and also the big anticipation of the seventh Star Wars,
We're on
episode
seven
7.
now. Yeah, we're on
That's
7
right.
now.
There's just so many of them, but it's been a while. It's probably been a good 10 years since.
Now, how many
the last
times
one.
did you look at this trailer for Star Wars?
I have to admit, only probably 2 or 3.
Well, a couple times?
Only a couple. I'm ashamed, but the Superman Bat one I did because I'm anticipating it to be a good movie. I have my doubts, but I'm hoping.
Well,
for
let's
something
get on
good.
the Star Wars one. I watched it a couple times. I watched it with mute off, so I can just watch the picture, then I just close my eyes and listen to the words. Man, it's going to be a cool movie.
I'm hoping. I mean, a lot of people out there, I know, for instance, my father, for instance, who, when the original, he calls them 1, 2, and 3.
That's what they
not
really
4,
should
5, and
be.
6.
Of course.
But he's big on just the old school stuff, and now you have all this new school stuff coming out. I know a lot of people aren't going to go watch it, though, just because of that. Me, on the other hand, I enjoy the whole thing. This new trailer, I mean, I'm waiting for another trailer to
There's
come
a
out just
lot
to
of
make it
stuff
more
missing
interesting.
from it. There really is. There are stuff that you did find, though, like the beginning sequence in the desert, the X-wing the broken down X-wing in the desert.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
yeah.
a huge battle scene from a past, probably.
Yeah, they show the Darth Vader mask, obviously, because at the end of the Return of the Jedi, he takes his mask off and reveals to
Yep.
Luke what he looks like, everything all burnt
Yeah.
up. So, of course, that mask is all decrepit and breaking down because
Right.
it's set 40 years in the future and everything.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that, yeah. But, I mean,
Harrison Ford looked good, didn't he?
I did like that. There was a little cameo with Harrison Ford and Chewie saying, "We're home," and you got the Chewie.
I remember you talking about this, too, trying to debate when he said that.
I really think they walk into the Millennium Falcon and it's like, oh my God, it's back, because he's probably been a little
Retired.
Retired. He's wheeling around in his wheelchair. Chewie going
Right.
pushing him around. Oh my God, we're home, kind of thing. I mean, that was his baby.
It was.
So I mean,
It was.
that's my one thing I love about the Star Wars, though, was Harrison Ford. I thought he played an excellent Han Solo. I do love Chewie, though. I mean, doesn't really have any words, but how can
Did you notice Chewie the crossbow this time?
I did not. No,
Yeah, you had the crossbow this time.
I didn't. Yeah, I gotta go back and watch that. I gotta slap my wrist there on that one. I just
yeah.
that
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, that's my bad. I did not come prepared. But yeah, it comes out December 18th.
Yep.
Probably won't go see it that weekend because obviously it's
It's going to be a madhouse.
Christmas and all that stuff, and
Well, you
so
know, it's going to be one of those movies where people lined up outside the theater for days
oh
to get tickets.
oh yeah,
I guarantee you.
people are gonna buy them months ahead of time probably. It's in one of those big anticipated movies. People have had a problem though with Lucasfilm selling to Disney though. I was one of them because
Really?
I had my doubts because a lot of Disney for me has gone down. Granted, they bought Marvel and have run with that.
Look at that, right?
But I had my doubts about a Lucasfilm kind of thing, a sci-fi-ish kind of show going to children's Disney. I mean, because even in
Well, it's not really. It's on the same lines as Pirates.
it is.
You know, so
there's
one of
certain
those kind of things.
there's certain things Disney is now doing though, like for instance, they won't show people smoking. They said they don't want to show or
Right.
other violence. So I mean, I'm hoping for a good film. I really want it to pay off. I do have my concerns though, like everybody else. I mean, they got to prove me wrong. I mean,
Are we going to see any limbs cut off?
you mean you think he's gonna you think Luke's gonna lose his robotic hand and get another new robotic hand maybe?
The robotic hand. Same with the trailer, man. Did you notice the robot arm? Because in the movie, when he got replaced, it looked like a regular hand. And now in this one, he just has the metal hand.
My thing was, until you cleared it up to me earlier, was I thought it was Luke's son talking in the entire thing. Come to find out, my bad. It's Luke talking in the entire trailer. But I mean, I liked it. I got excited because the first trailer was it was short.
It's very short.
You just see the
yeah.
you see the one warrior out there removing his mask, and then you see the
They showed John Boyega, the guy who played Finn in the movie.
yeah, and
Just
then,
showed him.
then it shows the new Sith who's been waiting in the wings somewheres with his new sword lightsaber. Obviously, I mean I don't know where you're gonna chop someone's thumb off with the little lightsabers that pop out on
Maybe.
the side.
But here's what's interesting about the trailer too, though. Did you notice the other stormtrooper? That was all silver.
I thought it was all gold. I thought it was a
It was
gold
all
one.
silver
It was all silver.
with like red eyes or something like that.
I remember seeing it, but
I'm
obviously
not
I
sure
thought it
what
was.
that's supposed to be.
I obviously thought it was gold, but still, could be maybe maybe a robot stormtrooper. I mean I don't know. Obviously, all the stormtroopers are now good because there's been peace, I guess.
Yeah.
They're all working for the what is it? The government there.
I don't think it's the Senate, is it?
Yes, Senate.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
the
the
Senate.
Senate. So obviously they're all working there. They've got the Jedi Academy back up because in the plot I read says that Luke's the Jedi teacher.
Teacher, that's right.
I mean, who else are you going to choose? All the Jedis are dead except for Luke
You
at
got
the,
Luke,
at the end
yeah,
of
yeah,
Return of the
Luke.
Jedi. But my thing is, I want to know where this Sith has been hiding all this time.
I got the answer for you. I read this. This is awesome. At the end of Return of the Jedi,
Return of the Jedi, that was number 6.
at the end of that, there's a huge fight scene in space. One Empire ship, escapes.
Which that might be, is that Empire ship that's crashed in the desert?
It could be,
'Cause in the
but
beginning-
one escaped, and that Sith was on that ship.
Okay, I remember hearing something about a ship escape.
Yeah.
And I think, they show it
Yep.
too, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you see him, he's actually out in the forest kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I want to know maybe how does this Sith evolve around the Star Wars universe? Is he like a descendant of the Sith Lord kind of thing, or is it just like kind of like Vader was? Oh, I chose you to do something, or
Probably is.
I'd like to see it be some kind of where the Sith Lord, for instance, I guess you could say, was this Sith's father, for instance, just
Oh, you think it works that way?
just for giggles, I guess. And he wants to get revenge on Luke. You know, I mean, why wait 40 years? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
what were you just
Now the time.
I'm just chopping down some
time span
trees or
is 40
something. I
years.
mean, that's what I heard. I mean, obviously, they have to explain how long it's been because at the end of Return of the Jedi, which was in like the 70s or 80s, I mean, it's been 30-something years since that. So the timeline has to jump
Right.
that because Luke, Han, and Leia are going to be 60 years old, I think, is what they're around right
Yeah,
now.
kinda old,
So,
aren't they?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Harrison Ford, I think, still looks pretty decent. I mean, but
Oh yeah, definitely.
yeah, I mean, he also broke his leg there too. Did you hear? On set.
Plane crash or something like that, right?
Well, there was the plane crash, but he actually on set before that, a couple months later, sprained or broke his leg. I'm like,
Oh, okay.
just tells you maybe Harrison, take it slow.
Take it slow.
I mean, you are 60-something years old. I don't know why he's flying a plane, but yeah. So I mean, I'm excited, but like I said, hopefully they prove me wrong, and it turns out to be a good show because they, I believe, want to do like another trilogy. Like it's starting for episode 7, 8, and
That's what I
9.
heard too. Yeah.
So
I
hopefully,
believe what we get from this trailer is that there's a lot of exciting happening already, but then we can anticipate a lot more.
oh yeah. I mean, it doesn't come out till the end of December. So obviously there's still going to be probably a good 2 or 3 more trailers because that first one I really don't count it as a trailer because it was only like 20 seconds
clip.
long.
It's a clip.
Yeah. So this is the first trailer. Usually there's 3 or 4 trailers. So we're definitely going to see more and guarantee when you go to the movies or anything like that, there's going to be some Star Wars ones there too. So, it's exciting, but like I said, I have my doubts. They just got to prove me wrong.
It's Disney for you, huh? You know,
It is the Disney. I mean, granted, you like the animes that Disney's making. So.
I'm feeling good about anything Disney has. I'm also feeling good about the director they have.
Was
J.J. Abrams.
about to say, yeah, J.J.
running,
Abrams
yeah.
is doing it.
And
So
I enjoy JJ's
you,
stuff.
you
so
are a big Abrams fan, so
He's good, man. He's good.
yeah, you
But it's gonna be great. We'll see what happens.
I'm hoping.
But now the bigger
I'm
trailer.
hoping.
The bigger trailer.
Oh yes, Dawn of
Even
Justice.
though this movie comes out next year, the first trailer came out. It's
Well,
going to be
was
incredible.
supposed to come out this year, but obviously don't want
I'm
to come.
glad they push it back. That means they're still adding stuff and fine tuning.
We all know the reason why they pushed it back. Don't want to compete with Marvel, but
Don't blame them.
hey,
But Batman
little-
vs Superman,
a little healthy
Dawn of
competition.
Justice.
Dawn of Justice, yeah. I really consider this the very first Justice League movie. Obviously, it's not. They have said this movie has nothing to do with Justice League, which will come out down the road. But when you call a movie, originally it was supposed to be just called Batman vs Superman. Then they added in, because once Wonder Woman came into the scene and Aquaman, well, maybe we need to call it Dawn of Justice.
But don't forget about Victor Stone,
Victor
Flash,
Stone,
Cyborg.
the rumor with Tyrese Gibson being Green Lantern. But to me, if you're going to add all these Justice League characters in the movie, even if they're only in there for a small role or
gonna be too much.
cameos, to me, it is the very first Justice League movie. And that's, in my mind, I don't care what anyone else says, that's how I see it. It's just, if you wanted it to be like the title said, Batman versus Superman, do it that way. And if you wanted to add characters in it after, do a mid-credit scene showing some characters kind of like finding their way to Superman or Batman kind of thing. I mean, obviously, Batman and Superman are going to have this big fight, and it's going to attract these other superheroes. They find them after the fight. That's how I see it. But, I mean,
Well, let's break down the trailer, shall we? Let's break it down.
We'll break it down.
Let's break down the trailer. What did you like about it?
I love Ben Affleck playing Batman. I've said it since day one, a year or two ago, when Ben Affleck was casted as Batman, and everyone complained, "Oh, Ben Affleck, he's past his prime. He's this and this." Yes, Ben Affleck, as an actor in the last 5 years or so, didn't like him. Didn't really care for any of his movies because he was directing, writing, producing.
too much.
He was worrying about the behind the camera things instead of worrying about his acting. Go before that, I'm a huge Daredevil fan. I enjoyed Daredevil. What did he do? He just did all acting in that.
Yeah.
Now he's decided to step back and just go back to the acting. I think he's going to play a great Batman. And in that trailer, he has the Bruce Wayne look. Like he's.
It was an older Bruce Wayne, but yeah, I see where it's
just-
coming from, and
I feel like he's going to do a great job. I have a feeling. Granted, my feelings sometimes on the DC movies, I thought Man of Steel was going to be this huge, great movie, and kind of disappointed in some of it, but
I am never a fan of DC movies. There's a lot of them just a flop for me.
yep.
I heard Ben Affleck was playing Bruce Wayne, Batman, and I was like, he'll do a good job, but I kind of wanted them to bring a name, like a no-name, up to the plate to run with it.
Yeah. Kind of like,
Because Ben has been in way too many movies that it just kind of seems old to see an actor like him going back to do something like this. Like when they brought Henry Cavill in as Superman, I was a spectacle. I'm not a big Superman fan,
yep.
but at least he's kind of a no-name back then. So it made me kind of get interested in the movie.
Exactly, because when Man of Steel came out for me, I had no clue who he was. Was
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill. My whole big thing was the casting of Jonathan Kent, who was Kevin Costner. I'm a
Had but
huge,
one big name in there.
huge Kevin Costner fan. Granted, they kill him off 10 minutes or so into the movie, but I thought that was going to be the biggest thing. Is, oh my God, Kevin Costner playing Jonathan Kent, who's a huge role model for Clark.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, even who played his father? It was
Who's this?
plays Superman's father, his real father, not Jonathan Kent. actor.
Russell Crowe.
Yes, I mean, even there was a big name, and he's actually in the movie more than
He is.
Kevin Costner.
I
is.
enjoyed the beginning sequence. But anyways, we're getting off topic.
Exactly.
We're on the trailer.
So yeah, that's what
trailer.
I'm really excited about in it. Like I said, I'm hoping, being the fact I'm so excited over it, it doesn't disappoint me. But
What do you think of the bat suit?
I like the bat suit, when he's looking at it, it's got like little claw marks on it and
Yep.
cut marks. The thing I hated, I didn't enjoy the glowing eyes. I mean, it's probably some kind of high-tech, I can see through walls thing like Superman kind of, I guess. And his little voice changer, because it sounds like I got a little voice box on my throat, kind of like.
Well, that was like the Iron suit. It was the Iron Bat suit. Made specially for a battle against Superman.
It just.
You can actually see it if you watch The Dark Knight Returns. It's an anime.
Okay.
So part 1, part 2. In part 2, he brings that suit out to fight Superman.
There we go.
You get the glowing eyes, everything in it.
And like you pointed out, when I said he's standing on top of a building and he's got a sniper rifle, it's like, whoa, Batman doesn't kill and he doesn't shoot, even though he wants to make Superman bleed. But like you pointed out, in the Dark Knight trilogies, he had one, but it was a grappling hook gun.
Right.
And I am enjoying the fact that they're actually taking the Batmobile from the Dark Knight trilogy and using it. I'm not a big fan of that Batmobile. I'm a big fan of the like the 80s, early 90s one. But it's nice to see, being the fact these are so close together, it's not like they're a decade or two apart, that they're using something that's still fresh on everybody's mind. And that using that Batmobile.
Makes you kind of think they're using that same Batmobile is the Nolan trilogy connected somehow with the same Batmobile. But you don't know. Don't know.
I mean, it's a year away, so we're definitely going to see more coming out of it, and we'll hear more rumors coming out of it. But I mean,
there's a lot of stuff with Superman in this trailer.
Yes,
a lot of stuff with Superman in this trailer. A lot of stuff is happening. One part's happening is one scene where Superman walks down a corner and you have the soldiers bowing down to him.
Yep.
It's a huge part. One thing that we had to understand is that Lex is the villain in this movie.
Jesse Eisenberg's playing Lex.
That's right. What I kind of guessed in this movie is that kind of the plot is going to be Kryptonite is going to be a big part of this movie, I bet.
Yep.
Somehow, Lex is going to control Superman with a colored kryptonite.
Taking a.
Batman's going to come in and kind of save Superman, the city, or the world, however far Lex is willing to go with this.
Now, if everyone out there doesn't know what my co-host here is talking about with the different kryptonites, it's a scene from Smallville. Smallville.
Yep.
There's obviously, I know of, I think, maybe 3 different kryptonites, I think. I know there's the green, the red, I want to say there was a blue.
There's a black.
The black, okay, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you got the regular green kryptonite, you got the red one, which changes his moods, and I'm still catching up on Smallville. I know I wasn't a fan back then, but I am now. I'm a huge fan, so I haven't gotten to the black kryptonite yet, so I don't know if you remember what it does, but I
don't quite remember.
But if it is a controlling thing, that's what he uses.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I mean,
it's gonna be a great movie, I think. I mean, I just don't understand where Wonder Woman, Aquaman, or Cyborg is gonna fit in anywhere.
Exactly. My other thing is the statue where it says false god.
Okay.
Because everyone's praising Superman now as a god. So is this like a few people that do hate him, or is it maybe Lex who wrote false god? Because obviously, if everyone's bowing to him, I'd like to know who else. Or I mean, it's not going to be Batman. I doubt it, but
there might be some sort of group of citizens who is not under control.
Maybe some Jokers.
When it comes to Superman, I doubt it. I doubt it.
Because that made me wonder, are we going to see, we got obviously Lex. Are we going to see a Joker in this too, or is it just Lex is the big villain?
I think Lex is going to be the big villain.
It's weird to me having Lex in this, being the fact it's a Batman and Superman fighting each other kind of thing. But like you said, your thought on a kryptonite thing controlling Superman and Lex doing that makes sense. So I mean,
because the citizens in Metropolis, they all seem to praise Superman, and you have that one sense that's false god on the statue of Superman, which means there's probably some sort of group that doesn't agree with what Superman's doing.
Yeah, I mean, and that's in every Superman.
There's going to be a lot of tension right there. Yeah, that's probably what Lex is shooting for.
Because I mean, in every Superman comic, television show, movie, there's always some people that don't like him. I mean, obviously, in Man of Steel, for instance, nobody really liked him in the first place, like the army and all that stuff too. So I mean, it is possible. They definitely, in my eyes, where they're showing all these people loving Superman and praising him, kneeling to him, and all that stuff. They need to show in the beginning, and I'm hoping they do, a kind of what happened after the end of Man of Steel. Because people in Man of Steel, like I said, we don't know anything about Superman. All we know is he's not from this planet, so he's an alien, and people are scared of him in Man of Steel until obviously he saves the world.
Right.
So you need to show that kind of missed timeline, explain how it happened.
I don't think they're going to. I think, in Man of Steel, they destroyed a block of Metropolis. So I think you're not going to see that destruction anymore. Metropolis will be built back up to where it's beautiful stuff. So I think it's probably going to maybe be 2 or 3 years after Man of Steel.
Because I can see it maybe even starting off where you see newspaper clips of the Daily Planet kind of praising Superman, maybe building his character up, maybe. But do you see, because obviously in front right here we have the Adventures of Lois and Clark, for instance. And I know they get married in one of the seasons. Do you see that happening where they're a couple now in this? Because obviously in Man of Steel, he shows that he's Clark Kent to Lois, so she
knows.
And she is a character in this movie.
She is.
So if it's 2-3 years later in the future, are they kind of together? Because I like the little backstories in movies, though, too. I don't want it to just be one big fight scene kind of thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, the trailer didn't show us too much about a backstory at all.
Exactly.
It just pretty much cut to the point, cut and dry of Superman here, what's going on with Superman, Batman looking at his suit, Batman jumping into the Iron Bat suit, and facing off, squaring against Superman.
Yeah, because you don't even see any of the Justice League people
Nothing. You see nothing.
So, I mean,
you don't even see Lex in the trailer.
This is true. And I really wanted to see Jesse Eisenberg with his bald head and everything like that.
I heard he's starting off with hair. He's going to end the movie bald.
Okay. Makes sense, because the like in Smallville, he loses his hair and all that stuff.
As a child.
Yeah, as a child. They don't they don't show it or anything. But,
that was a different side of Lex on that movie, on the show. Different side of Lex.
Oh, it was a great side of Lex. She shows.
And with Lois and Clark, he had hair in that show too.
Do you notice who the Lex though? I know we're getting off topic here real quick, but it just popped in my head. I believe. Do you notice who isn't the Lex in this? Lex's father, Lionel, in Smallville.
No.
No?
Nope.
For some reason, they
kind of look
alike. They looked alike, and I'm like, whoa, that's pretty neat, though. Yeah, we'll do
cool,
little crossovers, but yeah,
it wasn't.
I think the summer of 2016 that movie will come out. So
we have Batfleck coming out. It's gonna be cool to see. Henry Cavill's taking his part back over Superman. What's gonna happen between those two? Like I said before, we have Wonder Woman coming in. Who knows when these characters are come in though? Are Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Cyborg going to come in at the end of the movie? Are they going to come in and stop the destruction of Superman and Batman?
Yep.
Or is it going to be like an end credit kind of thing with these three characters?
Well, that's why
kind of spin off to the actual Justice League titled movie in probably 2018.
Yeah. Like I said, that's why. Like I said before, I would put it as an end credit thing. Just to have them come in at the end.
It's the only way it would make sense. It was the only way
if they do it that way, then I won't consider it a Justice League movie. Yeah. If they're halfway through the movie, it's Justice League. And then if Cyborg comes in, for instance, you're one of your favorite characters.
Absolutely.
Are we going to show how he becomes Cyborg? Because that's a whole story in itself right there.
See, I mean, Victor Stone, he was a high school quarterback. And he gets in a huge accident. Gets rushed to Star Labs where his father works, and they fix him up. Mechanicalized, you know?
Yep.
So who knows what's going to happen to them? Is Cyborg already Cyborg in the movie?
Yeah. Which
it could happen.
Then, like you mentioned, my favorite thing, Star Labs. Let's run into Barry.
Yeah, he's actually supposed to be in the movie too, isn't he? Or is he just rumored?
I think it's rumored.
It's just rumored right now.
Because I know for a fact Gail Gabbett is playing Wonder Woman.
Yep.
The rumor is Tyrese Gibson as Green Lantern. I forget his name, but he played Conan the Barbarian.
Right.
He plays Aquaman.
Wasn't he in Sons of Anarchy too? Wasn't he?
No, he was in another movie. I know what you're talking about. I forgot the title.
Okay.
But where he's in the entire trailer, he's just riding on a motorcycle. But
Yeah, Sons of Anarchy.
it wasn't Sons of Anarchy, no, because that's a TV show.
They're riding bikes.
Yeah, but it's not a movie. I could go ride a bike too. I guess I'm Sons of Anarchy.
Why not?
Don't want to see that riding a bike, but I mean, like, I don't know.
Got nothing. It's gonna be a great movie though.
I will see it. It's not one of those movies I'm going to wait to come out on DVD or Blu-ray.
Right.
I am going to be, maybe not opening day, but definitely in that first couple weeks that it comes out, I will go see it.
It's not a rush to theater movie for me.
It's not. It was the same with Man of Steel. We didn't rush. We went a couple weeks into it. I mean, there's a few movies that are rush, but the problem is DC has rubbed us the wrong way. When it comes to movies. Except Green Lantern, which that was.
I did see that right away.
Yes, I don't blame you. I did too. But everything else DC does besides TV, it's disappointing to me. So.
Yep. Fair enough.
Maybe I guess Disney has to buy them too, because look at Marvel, how well they're doing. So.
Fair enough.
Fair enough there, I guess.
So there we have it. The two huge trailers that came out this week hit the internet hugely.
Yep.
They were awesome, but now it's time for our favorite part of the show.
Oh, it's my baby.
It's time for the top 5.
It's our top 5.
So this week it's gonna be top 5 movie, TV throwdowns.
It's always.
What I mean by this is fight scenes between two characters, straight up.
Could be 2 characters. Whoa.
2 or more characters.
2 or more characters. I had a couple where I'm like, does it qualify as a throwdown? But I'll get into that later because I just want to give you my thoughts on those 2 later.
What?
But let's start with our top 5.
Why don't you go ahead and throw me your top
All right.
5?
My number 5 was Blade versus Dracula in Blade Trinity.
Okay.
It starts off with this great sword fight, breaks down into throwing fists, and at the same time, you can even qualify 2 other throwdowns. You have Ryan Reynolds in there having his little fight with Triple H. Because he's a co-star in that movie.
That's right. Yep.
And then at the same time, Jessica Biel is just throwing arrows at all the vampires.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, there's 3 great fight scenes right at the end of that movie.
That's nice.
It was Blade Trinity for me. Like I love the Blade series, but number 3 I loved the most. I just thought there was, because I always thought watching Blade, where's Dracula? Mm-hmm. He's the number 1 vampire.
Of course.
And then they bring him in. It's just, plus I love Jessica Biel. So her with the bow and arrow was great. So
right.
That's my number 5. My number 4, it's only about a 30-second fight, but with my top 5, you're going to notice they are fight scenes that I think people who watch movies, those fight scenes are always in your mind because you will always remember these fight scenes.
All right.
And you and me being big Avengers fans, Hulk versus Loki at the end of the movie.
Oh.
When Loki comes up and says, "I'm a god,"
Is
and
that
then
really a fight scene though?
To me, I don't care. It's something I'm always
Hulk
going to remember.
grabbing him by the leg and throwing back and forth. Don't worry, like a fight
It was
scene.
great. And then Hulk's just like, "Puny
All right.
god,"
All right.
and he's just crying. He's like, "Oh." It was great. It's something I'm always going to remember.
It is a memorable scene. I'll give you that.
My number 3 is a fight scene with 1 guy versus about 100 guys. And it comes from The Matrix Reloaded, which is the second film, Neo versus the Mr. Smiths. And in the scene, Neo just got done talking to the Oracle. They have this little park. Yeah, which is surrounded by a bunch of buildings. And then Mr. Smith comes in. I think he turns the Oracle into one of them.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, it's about Neo probably versus 10, 15 of them. And then you just see Mr. Smith, "We need more." And just a bunch of them come out from the buildings, from the corners. And he's fighting like 100 or 200 guys. He's got the metal pole swinging it back and forth. I rewatched that today, and I'm just watching it going, wow.
That was,
it was
just
a great fight scene. Granted, I mean, people might not agree with me because it's the Matrix, so a lot of digital enhanced computer stuff going on.
And that one fight scene was all digitally enhanced.
Yeah, but I mean, it was still one of those where it's like, oh my God. It was
the technology they did, it was an awesome fight scene.
It was great. My number 3, that was my number 3, sorry. My number 2 doesn't even involve any human beings. It involves 2 animals. It's from King Kong. King Kong versus the T-Rexes. That's something I'm always going to remember. That was a throwdown. I don't care what you have
What
to
movie
say.
was that from?
It's from the newest King Kong.
With Jack Black?
With Jack Black.
Okay, all right.
You got Kong holding the little woman in his hand,
Right.
and he's fighting off the T-Rexes, snapping their jaws in half. It was just one of those things I'm always going to remember. It was great.
Fair enough.
I mean, King Kong, I don't care for the originals, but I love the new one. I love the story, and that fight scene was great, something I'm always going to remember.
Mm-hmm.
But my number one is the funniest fight scene I've ever seen. Comes from the movie Happy Gilmore,
Oh,
where you got Adam Sandler as Happy Gilmore
against Bob Barker.
fighting Bob Barker. That is
Wow.
the funniest thing I've ever seen in a fight scene.
That is
the
nuts.
one fight scene I'm always going to remember till the day I die. And they even did a remake of it about a month or two ago. They did this little special thing that they were for raising money for, I forgot what the disease was, but you got Bob Barker lying in a bed. Like he has the disease kind of, and Adam Sandler comes in, he's nursing him, and then they just start fighting again.
Really?
Bob Barker hits him with his bedpan. A nurse comes walking by with the Ebola disease, for instance, and he shoves it down Bob Barker's mouth. Bob's like, "I'm already dead," and spits it up into
Wow.
Adam Sandler's face. They both die, and then they're fighting up in heaven as angels.
Was this like a YouTube clip?
No, it was something they did on like CBS for a benefits special.
program, okay.
Yes, where they're collecting money and stuff. They just did a funny skit kind of thing,
That's weird.
and it was
I've never seen this.
it was great. And I mean, the Bob Barker Happy Gilmore scene,
I just can't believe Adam Sandler is part of your greatest fight scenes.
well, Adam Sandler is one of my favorite actors of all
on.
time. I mean,
That's not a fight scene.
it's like I said, my top 5 are really fight scenes that I'm always going to remember.
All right.
I have a list here of other ones, but I could have gone with like on my list. I had Dwayne the Rock Johnson versus Vin Diesel from Fast 5. Mm-hmm. That was a good throwdown.
That was a good throwdown.
I mean, but I want something that's kind of true to my heart.
Let's break down mine,
Let's go.
and then we'll break down both ours together.
Okay.
All right, so my number 5, Indiana Jones versus the large Nazi in Raiders of the Lost
Jesus.
Ark. That was a great fight scene.
I just
Come on now.
I'm not a huge Indy fan.
You're not a huge Indiana fan?
Not a huge Indy fan. My dad is. Huge Indy fan. Not the new one, though, with the Crystal Skull.
Right.
I liked it. I have it because I thought Shia LaBeouf was going to be the new Indy. But
I mean, it's a great fight scene. Something I will.
there's a lot of funny things in those, too. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I could see that. Giant Nazi kind of thing.
Yeah. Remember that scene right in the airport?
No.
No,
I haven't seen it.
Oh my
I haven't.
goodness.
I told you I'm not a big Indy fan.
Oh, you need to go watch movies.
I can see it in my head happening.
You have homework tonight. Go watch movies.
Well, my dad owns all of them. I just never watched them.
Go watch them. Raiders of the Lost Ark. That scene was awesome. A great fight scene.
Oh, geez.
All right, number 4. It's off Batman vs. Superman, Public Enemies. It was Batman Superman versus all the villains.
Now, this is one of the animes, right? Yeah.
This one of the
Of
animes,
course you
yep.
have to throw an anime at me.
Of course I did.
Jeez.
They were fighting outside a building with a fountain and stuff, and all of a sudden, all the villains in DC World just come at them.
Well, they just magically appear?
Out of like the woods and from the sky.
Or are they like magically delicious, kind of like Lucky Charms?
It was a great fight scene. I'm telling you, it was awesome.
Now,
Because Lex just put a bounty on their head.
is that one of the first DC Universe kind of...
It was a pretty early one.
because there's been like 20 or so DC animations. So, because I know there's like a Superman Apocalypse way back in the beginning.
No,
and-
yeah, this is one of the earlier ones. It's much based where Lex becomes president,
Okay.
and then Superman gets framed for killing him. He becomes
Okay.
a public enemy.
I could see that.
Yeah,
Yeah, because there's actually, they show that in Smallville where Lex in the future becomes president.
yeah.
Yep.
So it was one of those kind of movies. I thought it was a great, great movie.
Yeah.
3. Love this fight scene. Don't care what you say. Sylvester Stallone versus Van Damme, Expendables 2.
That is an amazing fight scene. I am sorry.
Well, I loved about
I totally
this.
forgot about that one.
I loved about this because I'm a huge Sylvester Stallone fan, and back in the 90s, I'm a huge Rob Damm fan. I love him. He was awesome in all of his movies. Time Cop's probably my favorite movies.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, just seeing those two, one scene, fighting each other, it was amazing.
I will not argue there. I'm a huge Sly fan too. I mean, I have a lot of older Sly movies. Like I own all the Rockies because I was a huge Rocky fan.
Right.
Cliffhanger,
Cliffhanger was awesome.
Judge Dredd.
You ever seen Over the Top?
Can't say I've seen Over the Top. No,
He's an arm wrestling champ.
I haven't
And
seen
he's
it, but
a trucker,
I've seen.
And he takes his son out.
Yes, I've seen bits and pieces, but I haven't seen the whole movie.
Yeah.
But what was the other one? It's got. Now I'm forgetting her name.
Well,
But yeah, Sly, great actor.
yeah, that was a great movie. One of those movies that, just one of those epic fight scenes for me.
Yeah, well, you basically got in there. You got him losing
Yeah.
towards the
Yeah.
entire fight.
Yep.
Then he grabs a chain and just.
And just goes right back at it.
Yep.
Now, the second one is another anime.
Okay.
We have Batman versus Owlman.
Oh, jeez.
This
Yeah,
is from
that's definitely-
Crisis on Two Earths. This was a great movie, too. Because you had the opposite of the Justice League coming into the Justice League universe.
That's the Owl Club or.
Nope. It was you had the Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had Owlman. Then you have Uber. I forgot what Superman's opposite was, but all the opposites of the Justice League in this movie.
Okay.
Where Lex was a good guy,
Yeah. It's,
Joker was weird looking but a good guy.
So it's like the Injustice game
Almost.
where it's kind of everything's turned around.
Yeah.
Okay. See, when you said Owlman, it got me thinking because of Batman vs. Robin DVD that came
Oh.
out, and you have
Oh.
the Owl Club, I think is or what?
Yeah. That's completely different. It's
Oh,
really
okay.
different. It's completely
okay.
different.
So it's totally different guy then.
Completely
Alright.
different. But the Batman and Owlman, they fight on a distant planet because Owlman's trying to blow up the Earth
Okay.
with this huge missile.
I think because I had to go and research a lot of those DC movies when I started getting into it, and I saw a trailer for something like that where it showed like an alternate universe kind of thing.
Yeah,
So-
that's what DC does. DC loves their alternate universes.
Yeah.
They do it all the time. With Flashpoint Paradox, for instance.
Oh, yeah.
For instance,
Amazing movie there.
They do it all the time.
Yep.
Number one, I have a lot to say about this one.
Oh, I bet you do.
This one is phenomenal. And I'm talking about Goku versus Frieza.
You
This right here is the longest running animated fight scene ever. It lasted 3.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just one of those ones where it has ups, has downs, has touching moments. Everything was in this fight scene.
You could say almost every. I mean, if you had it your way, your top 5 would be all Dragon Ball Z
I could
fights.
easily list all
And
10 Dragon Ball Z
and
fights.
I would go there with you. That could even maybe we'll do that for another top 5 down the road somewhere.
Maybe.
But I will agree with you that the fight scenes in Dragon Ball are great, but the Frieza saga, that for one, the whole Frieza saga lasted long. There's a million
Yep.
fights in there, but that very
the-
last fight where Goku all of a sudden transforms into a Super Saiyan,
Yeah.
it was
Right
remarkable.
there was touching because you had Krillin who dies,
Yep.
and then Goku gains his power from the power of loss,
That and Vegeta
which
died.
is a huge element in any comic book anime series.
And Vegeta died too because he had to bury Vegeta during
Yeah, Vegeta did.
Because towards the end,
Kick the
towards,
can.
towards the end of the Frieza saga, you start seeing that good guy side of Vegeta
Yep.
because
Yeah, he's slowly turning. Yep.
yeah, I mean he's starting to learn everything that Frieza taught him. Obviously, because Vegeta's dad died, was wrong.
Yeah.
Because Frieza, you were expendable to Frieza.
Exactly. Yep.
I mean,
Yep. But it's one of those fight scenes in any movie that I would be happy to waste 3.5 hours to keep watching.
I will agree with you there. You put up a good point for that to be a number 1.
So there you have it.
I mean,
My top 5, Andy's top 5. Now
Let's
the
put-
mashing starts.
let's merge them.
Let's mash them together
I mean, I had
with an ultimate top 5 list.
Blade and Dracula as my 5. You had what
Number
was it?
5, I had Indiana Jones versus the Large Nazi.
I'm sorry, I
You
can't.
know my problem? The Blade, I enjoyed the first Blade.
Yep.
The second 2 were kind of jokes.
Okay.
They were kind of jokes.
Well, what was your number 4? Because we don't have to say
My number 4.
we don't have to say my 5 and your 5 and figure out which one is a number 5.
My number 4 was Batman, Superman, Public Enemies.
And mine was Hulk and Loki. I could say Hulk and Loki as a number 5 because I know you don't think it's a fight scene, but I'm sorry. If you're a true Marvel fan, you'll put it at number 5. You laughed just as hard as I
Of course
did.
I laughed.
It was great.
It was an overpowering scene.
I
will give it to you.
I'd rather have that than a giant Nazi. I'm sorry.
Until you watch the movie.
That's
All right.
if I watch
All right,
it.
let's do it then. I'll give this one to you, even if it's not a hot fight scene.
And who knows? Maybe we'll see it again in in another Marvel Avengers, because Loki's. I looked that up.
Loki's not done.
Loki is actually in Age of Ultron. I believe it's on IMDb on that the
Okay.
website. It lists Loki as a cast member.
Really?
The guy who plays Loki.
Tom Hiddleston, yeah.
Yes. So because I think what's probably going to happen is Thor is going to contact Asgard, and because Loki's going to pick up the phone, obviously. But
Pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Got it.
okay, let's figure out our number 4 here.
Number 4.
Oh,
So I had the Batman, Superman, Public Enemies.
yeah.
Honestly, I think Sloane Van Damme should be in this list somewhere, because that was a great fight scene.
Mm-hmm.
I also think Batman Owlman needs to be in this list too.
My problem with the Batman Owlman, obviously, I haven't seen it, but I know the backstory of it.
Okay.
I like the whole even storyline. I don't think it should be as high as you have it. I would put it at a 4. But that I mean, that's just me. I mean, because what did I have at number 3 here? I had the Matrix scene, which I really...
You know, I did. I'll tell you, here's what I'm going to do. I actually made more than a top 5 list.
Okay.
I like a top 10 list of great
Oh,
fight
I mean,
scenes.
I do
And I
too.
had to break it down.
Like I said, I
So-
have 2 more here that aren't solo fight scenes.
But check this out. On one of my lists, I had Neo versus Mr. Smith. Mm-hmm. But in the third movie,
Yeah, in the
when
city.
they're flying around and stuff, I thought that was a great fight scene. So I think we should put one of those,
Okay.
Neo versus Mr. Smith, on the list.
My problem with the last one is I just thought it was more impressive in the second one.
It was more impressive.
See,
It was more impressive.
with the third one, it's a lot of crash through that building, crash through this building.
Just like a Dragon Ball Z fight.
Hey, I'm giving you Dragon Ball probably as our number 1. I mean, okay, let's just put it number 1.
Let's just
number
put
1
a-
is DBZ.
All right.
I mean, I'll give you that.
I think we should put. Do you want to put Neo and Smith as number 4?
I would accept
I
it.
think those two should be on the list. It was an impressive fight scene.
So, okay, we'll do
Because I mean,
Neo versus 100 Smiths.
just put Smith. I mean, that's what I would do. Those two seem fine. You know, they're both not martial artists, but the way they presented it, the movie, in the fight scenes, it was a darn good fight scene.
Yeah,
No matter which 2 or 3, which movie you want to pick, they're both great.
true. Let's see, what do we got here? We've got I've got a King Kong versus T-Rex, and Happy versus
I
Bob.
got the same thing too. Sloane Van Damme.
It's true. This is true. I'm giving Sloan as Kong though.
He's the gorilla. That's right.
He's the gorilla.
That's right.
I would put.
My list is overpowering this week, isn't it?
It is.
Overpowering list this week.
My problem with mine is what I really did was I literally went through my entire library of movies, and I'm just going through my head different fight scenes in every single movie.
Okay. Yep.
So I mean, I have other ones like for crying out loud. I have. You ever see the movie Fred Claus with Vince Vaughn?
Yeah, I think so.
I even put in there just because it was a fight scene that I remember because it was hilarious, where he's running away from the Santas
Really?
and he's fighting off the Santas in the toy store. I mean, it was a fight scene. I just put it down.
I think we should spend more broad on this fight scene.
Okay, what'd you have as your number 2? Because
Number 2, I had Batman vs. Owlman.
I just
So number 3, let's just do Sloane Van Damme. We seem to both agree on that.
I know, but now I'm tempted to put it at number 2
Oh, you're on 2 now.
because that I've totally forgot about that fight scene, and that was a great fight scene.
It was well
I mean,
done.
I don't think you've seen number 3 yet.
I've not seen number 3 yet.
But the whole thing with Mel Gibson in it, I thought was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, I bet you that's awesome. to
But
see.
let's put. I'm putting Sly at number 2.
Sly, number 2.
Sly and Van Damme.
All right.
I mean, I'm giving them their credit. They deserve everything in the world.
They're both great actors, and they did a great fight scene. So we need 3. What do you want to do for 3? What do you have for your list? Name all your list.
I really want the Happy and Bob. I know you don't consider it a fight scene, though.
It's not.
I just.
All right.
Well, you consider what? Would you consider Kong versus a T-Rex a fight?
Or a fight than some comedian, some old guy.
Bob Barker was great. All of a sudden, he just wakes up with the bug eyes. He's like,
Ugh.
"The price is wrong." Beep. I mean,
Beep.
I'm not gonna say it, but I mean,
I don't know. I mean, we can if you want to.
we don't have to.
I mean, if anything, it probably should be number 5.
But to me, it's hard for me to say yes to the animes if I haven't seen them.
Okay. Let me throw another anime that wasn't even on the list.
I mean,
but it's on my
we
other
do
list.
have an anime. We have DBZ as one.
Right.
I mean, but go ahead, give me. I mean,
I also put down Nightwing versus Damien in Son of Batman.
that was what? That was shorter than the Hulk and Loki.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
Sorry, this is what we'll do. Let's move the list up 1, and we'll put what was that one you wanted to put on the list?
I like Kong and the T-Rex. I really think it should go on there.
Number 3.
Let's do it.
How's that? Okay.
Gotta have gotta give the animals their due.
All right, I'll give you that one. Because
And then
it was a cool fight scene. That was it.
And then we have the DBC. So
Yeah.
there we go. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Our top 5. Yes, we bickered about it back and forth, obviously. But that's what a top 5 is.
Exactly.
So we got at number 5, Hulk vs. Loki from the Avengers. Number 4 from Matrix Reloaded, which is the second one, Neo vs. Mr. Smith. Number 3, one of my favorite animal fights, King Kong vs. the T-Rexes. Got number 2, his favorite, Sly and Van Damme in The Expendables 2. And then I totally forgot about this one, but I'm glad you brought it up. Dragon Ball Z, the Frieza sagas, lasted, what'd you say, how many
This
episodes?
was just the fight between Goku and Frieza. Now it lasted 3.5 hours.
So that's 2, 4, 6,
That's
7 episodes.
That's 7 episodes.
That's
the longest in any anime.
But that's what you
fight
get.
scene.
That's what you get with Dragon Ball Z.
And a lot of people complain, it's like, oh, these fight scenes take forever. The thing that people don't understand between Dragon Ball is that they're not just fighting, they're telling a story as well.
Exactly.
You know, it's not like, okay, let's forget what Krillin's doing and Gohan's doing and what Piccolo's doing.
You want to forget Krillin.
Let's see what they're doing while Goku and Frieza are fighting. You know, we got to see what they're doing as well, because they're doing other missions as well. You know, they're trying to get the Dragon Balls together to wish everyone back to life.
Oh yeah, it's the same thing as in the beginning of the Saiyan saga, which is before the Frieza one, where Goku dies, but we know Vegeta and Nappa are going to show up. So what's everyone doing? Bunch of episodes devoted to them training.
Yeah.
And then we also they'll also show Goku, for instance, on Snake Way. That was 3 or 4 episodes of just running on Snake Way. Granted, a couple things happened.
But then he had his thoughts. You get to hear what he's thinking while he's running down Snake Way. All of it is important. Yeah. If you're a true fan, all those words are important.
And that's what made Dragon Ball, I think, such a great show and movies, is because they gave you a great storyline. They gave you
cut any corners. It was strictly, here's a storyline between everybody.
And
all your favorite characters. Even during the Nappa and Vegeta fight scene, you went back to the Kami house, and we got to see what Roshi and Bulma and all those other guys are really doing there.
And that's what got me when Nickelodeon, for instance, took over some Dragon Balls.
Oh, it was terrible.
They tore it apart. Obviously, I mean, they kind of had to, because in Dragon Ball there are a lot of violent scenes, a lot of adult language, so you don't want to show it to kids.
Because SpongeBob is clean.
This is true. A guy running around in his underwear, but
I mean, come on.
But I understand why they had to do that. But if that was the case, then don't even take it on.
Yes.
And I mean, the GT series I enjoyed, but I'm glad Dragon Ball is doing what they're doing now and bringing it back. So.
Well, Andy, that was our top 5 on movies and TV's throwdown, fight scenes, which brings us to another fantastic topic, because on Sunday,
We got Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules.
Every
Some more throwdowns.
every month we have the pay-per-views. So we're always going to tell you, the fans, what our predictions are for those pay-per-views. So let's get it started with our favorite match, the Divas title, James. The Divas title. Nikki,
any word on Paige?
no word yet. She got injured apparently from the Naomi just destroying her on Monday Night Raw. She won the Battle Royal, Paige did, to face Nikki for the title. Nothing yet. Maybe we'll find out tonight, on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, but nothing yet. But I see Nikki finally losing. Whether it's Paige or Naomi, I see Nikki finally losing that title.
You're the huge wrestling fan here. Let me ask you this question. Do you think Paige being injured is part of a storyline, or do you think it's actually real? Because sometimes they would do that.
I think it's part of the storyline because they really wanted, I really saw Naomi being the #1 contender. So I think it's part of the storyline, whether it's going to be a triple threat. But I still see
Could it turn to that?
It could. I could see it turning into that. But no matter what, I see Nikki losing. All
right. So
it'll be that 2-minute match. She's done.
Your prediction?
Nikki Bella, Paige or Naomi.
Opponent of Bella is going to lose.
Blank opponent is going to win.
Gotcha. All right.
Well, Nick, you think Nikki or blank opponent?
I'm going to go with you. I think whoever Nikki's opponent is going to be is going to win.
She's held on to the title too long. It's time for a change. We're going to get to one of my favorite wrestlers, John Cena. He's the current U.S. champion.
I wanted to see the match already.
He's going to face Rusev again for the title. Rusev gets his title match. We're having a Russian chain match, which is like the bull rope matches, but instead you're tied to the wrist with chains.
It's pretty much a four corners match.
It is. That's what it is. But you have a chain. You're attached by the wrist by chains. You got to touch all four corners consecutively to win. Cena's winning it. At least I hope, because if he doesn't, I'm tired of Rusev. I don't want to see him champion again.
Right.
I'll riot.
You will riot.
I gotta go with my boy Cena.
All right.
That's.
Let's jump to this one. This is gonna be an interesting match, I think. Let's do the Ziggler-Sheamus match.
The kiss my arse match, as
right.
Sheamus would say, because his Irish heritage, his arse.
Right.
But
what do you think about Sheamus' new look?
I don't like the look. But wait till you hear his new entrance music.
He has new entrance music.
He has new entrance music. It's amazing. The whole like everything's black. You just see on the Jumbotron him bro kicking everybody with the new music, and then the lights just come down on him, and he does the fella thing, and he goes stomping on down. I mean, it's pretty good. His whole new entrance. It's really good. So
he pretty much did a whole character makeover.
He did
from his return.
Yep, he did.
All right.
So I'm guessing the rules in this match, they didn't really explain it. It's just going to be a regular one-on-one match, and then the loser has to kiss the other one's you-know-what.
Okay. That seems silly.
I see Sheamus getting DQ'd in this, and nobody doing anything. I don't see it happening.
I think, I think
Sheamus, that's all he's been doing since he came back, is getting DQ'd.
Okay.
So that's how this is just going to be a squash match. I really see it.
It's almost like when Sheamus first got into the company. That heel kind of thing.
Yeah. I just...
All right.
I'm more excited about this match. Big Show versus Roman Reigns in a last man standing match. Granted, Big Show, he's not the same Big Show as he was before, but I still love a last man standing match.
Right.
See, this all started because they're over in England right now. And Big Show threw Roman Reigns into both side doors of the car. They usually have the English car up on the stage. So he's got these big dents, and then he brings him up onto the roof and then chokeslams him through the roof. Mm-hmm. So Roman then decides we're having a last man standing match at Extreme Rules. So I'm still waiting to see this Extreme Roman coming out that I wanted to see against Brock at WrestleMania. So I'm hoping the last man standing match shows up.
We'll see it that night, huh?
I'm hoping.
We're going to see it that night.
We've got the IC title. It's Wade Barrett gets his rematch against Daniel Bryan, fan favorite there.
A lot of rematches that night, huh?
Well, I mean, it's the first pay-per-view after WrestleMania, and we had a lot of title changes on WrestleMania.
We did, absolutely.
I think they all changed except the tag and the Divas title. So, again, I don't see it happening. I don't see Barrett winning. I see Daniel Bryan having this long run as the Intercontinental Champion.
I think they're going to give him a long run.
I
do.
I mean, he deserves it. I mean, he's a hard worker. I mean, I don't see it happening. I see Barrett being humiliated.
Yeah, again.
I just, I mean, you and I are not
For the
on
most
not
part,
on the Barrett bandwagon. I mean,
I never was. I never was.
he just he breaks his arm every year, so
Do you know
he's
what
only there half the
bandwagon
year.
I am on now?
Whose bandwagon you on?
I'm on the Randy Orton bandwagon.
Everybody's on the Randy Orton bandwagon ever since he came back. Ever since he came back, he is just going guns a-blazing towards everybody.
Man, I've always liked Randy Orton.
Well, Randy Orton's got that look for one.
He does have that look.
He can be a face, a heel. He can be neutral. He plays those mind games. His promos are good. Unfortunately, I just don't see him winning.
You know?
I don't. That match, because on Monday Night Raw, they had their 2 matches where they got named stipulations if
Okay.
they both won. Rollins says, basically, my stipulation is you can't use your finisher, which is the RKO. Being the fact he's RKO'd Seth and Jamie and Mercury and all them consecutive times.
Right.
And we saw at WrestleMania, he can hit that from anywheres. Orton comes back and says, well, your weakness is that you can't wrestle by yourself. And it's true. He hasn't won anything by himself. So what do? I get rid of the authority and let's throw down inside a steel cage. So it's a steel cage, no RKO match. The problem is you can still climb over the cage. You can walk through the door.
Right.
So how's this going to stop Jamie and Joey from doing anything? Because you could have Orton trying to climb over and them throwing a chair at him or something.
Do you think they're going to change the rules so it's only submission or pinfall? That way they can lock the cage?
I don't, because I really see something happening where somebody gets involved. Could be, because Monday night on Raw, they had Kane versus Seth Rollins, and Kane decided to go back to being the fan favorite and just chokeslam Rollins like out of the universe, basically. But then, let me lay down and give you the win kind of thing. So I could see Kane coming in, breaking open the door, wanting to chokeslam Rollins, and then attacks Orton. I see something happening.
Well, I think Orton's going to win unless he slips up and accidentally pulls out an RKO, which he does.
Well, if he does, then he's DQ'd. But
I know.
No. This is what's going to happen. The ref's going to go down. That's when the RKO is going to happen.
Okay, yeah.
I'm sorry, but you get a ref inside a steel cage
We're going to
too.
see at least one RKO.
It's a given. I mean, it's pretty sad. I wish this pay-per-view was, I guess, a couple months after WrestleMania, because I think it could have been much better. Put one of the squash pay-per-views after WrestleMania, because all their money went into WrestleMania, so this is going to be a squash pay-per-view anyways. But
All right.
I'm excited to watch it. So, well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our show for today. Don't forget, come to our Facebook page, Legend of the Nerds. It's all redone. Beautiful website. Tell us your questions. Tell us what you thought of us in the show. Give us your thoughts. Give us ideas. We're always looking for new ideas to talk about. Maybe we'll mention you on the show, giving us a great idea. But just check us out. We're always looking for new material. But we love the fact that you watch us every week. That's all I really have to say. I mean, it was a great show. I mean,
Well, let's close it out with, we hope you enjoyed the journey.
I know, I'm getting tongue-tied here because it was such a great show. But don't forget, watch Extreme Rules this Sunday on pay-per-view or the WWE Network. But it was a great show.
How much we got right.
Oh, we know. I'm going to get everything wrong, but have a great night, everybody.
All right.